interesting. I'm like, I have to summarize that so everybody else can hear it. I don't have enough brain power. You do it.
I love how I'm the brain, and like,
you are the brain.
And if I'm the brain, then we're all in trouble. So you were asking, if you're doing a piece that is pan-cultural, how do you mix all those elements together? And the examples you gave were, say, Bollywood, maybe some fantasy oriental like Scheherazade, or krautrock, EBM, kind of the industrial side of things. So that was the question. You want me to go on? Yes. I don't, for me, it depends on the music. If the music has those elements, then I will do my best. I don't know if I've ever heard a krautrock Bollywood Scheherazade, but if there were one,
it's a challenge.
It's a challenge. For me, the music drives the movement. And if I hear something that is from a culture that has a dance that I don't know, I do my best to research it so that I can integrate those elements. Like I don't do a lot of Bollywood dance because I'm not trained in it. So I won't generally be attracted to songs that have Bollywood elements in them. But so I guess if there were a song that I'm like, oh, this is totally flamenco, I would want to go out and research flamenco and then integrate it into what I'm already doing. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And that's the fun of experimenting.
So I don't strictly choreograph because I like to work with energy. I should say I'm a pagan and a witch, and so I like to work with energy in every...
The witch!
I'm a burner!
She weighs the same as a duck.
So, like I said, I like to work with the energy in the room and everything, so you never know. Every stage is different, so I don't want to stick to a strict choreography. What I do is I study the music, and I study the music, and I study the music, and it's in the car, and I swear to God, people get so sick of hearing. And what I do is I figure out what works with this phrasing, what works with that phrasing. And I leave myself enough room to change my mind every once in a while. Like last night, you know, I'm on the floor and then I suddenly, like on the floor, turns around a couple of times, you know. That was like on the spot because something about the room told me to do it. If I had to do a strict choreography, I think I would lose my mind. Ooh, I'm just gonna give this to you.
She's gonna hurt you now. Yes. Oh, you're one of those who like that. Okay. And I think it's important to consider how well does the fusion go together when you're inspired. And when I first started dancing, I have taken classical Indian dance along with belly dance. And I was like, I must bring these things together. And I'm not sure how successful it was. I know it raised a lot of energy that, you know, coming together, but the weight changes are so different. So you can get a, you know, I think at this point, it's important to realize you can add a flavor. So when you're working with classical Indian dance or Bollywood, you can bring a little gesture in, you know, a little head, a little shoulder, a little mudra, but you can't go from classical Indian dance move or Bollywood move into a belly dance move and then to a Bollywood move and then throw in a flamenco move. And that's the thing with like American tribal style brings those pieces together from flamenco and Indian dance and belly dance to make a new unit, a new vocabulary. And that's what happens with fusion. You need to consider your elements carefully. Because I have seen people who have done like, okay, here's our flamenco move, and now we're doing some Indian dance, and now we're doing some Bollywood, and here's a Maya. That doesn't read as a language. It's dance is a language. Yeah. You need to look at your dance as putting together a story, and you have verbs, you have nouns, you have adjectives. So you want it to be saying, the blue cat is on the red chair, and the sun was streaming through the window, instead of cat, dog, chair, blue, 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 mouse. Belly dance move. You know, it doesn't speak. You have to think about it as a language versus just, I'm shaking my tits and moving my butt and it sounds fun and I look cute. Not that that isn't fun. But do it in your bedroom or at the club when you're drunk.
Or not.
And drunk is better. Because you know what? When you're drunk, you think you're doing it great anyway, so you might as well enjoy that bliss.
There you go.
So not that when you get on stage, though, I don't advocate that. Because the floor gets very close when you're doing floor work, and it can be dangerous.
Wow, I don't know if I have a lot of original things to say. I agree with everybody on the panel, but I'm glad you brought up the classical Indian dance. There are 7 forms, and I studied Odissi for over 2 years. And I always thought, too, oh boy, I'm going to bring this in. But the more you learn about it, the more you learn that it doesn't work, because it's telling a story that's particular, and how do you pick apart a word out of a sentence, or the story that you're trying to tell, or hopefully trying to tell, while dancing, either with choreography or without. I tend to steer away from choreography as well, but I've done choreography. I just feel I'm better in the moment. And of course, since I've studied things like Tempest said, I might throw in a mudra or something, but usually I have symbols. In fact, I think I'm one of the only goth dancers when I do perform goth. My name is Black, and I often will play symbols to a fast song or part of it, which I think is kind of anti-goth, but I do it because I'm a black sheep. So, the black sheep of the things. Anyway, I agree about that stuff. Boy, maybe so. Jeez, they asked if in goth, would that make me a white sheep because so many others are black? I think I'm not sure. Maybe a rainbow sheep.
There you go.
Because you're a green sheep.
A lime-colored sheep. Bah. Another question?
Any? They want to get back to the dancing. Back to the dancing girls.
But you want to know what's going on inside our minds. Because it's so exciting in here.
No, they don't.
Yes?
Yay! That's a good question.
Uh-oh. I remember how I got it. I can start.
I'm like, I don't know. I just ended up here and made lots of stuff happen. Well, it's important, I think, to go back to the history of the term Gothla. You're like, what is Gothla? Because a lot of people go, Goth, L.A. It's not Goth, L.A. It's not. Yes, it happens in Southern California. That wasn't necessarily planned. It just kind of happened. Gothla is the convergence of Gothic, we all know how to spell this, and Hafla, which is the word for a Middle Eastern dance party or a party. On the East Coast, they say Hafli a lot.
Yes, I've heard that term. Oh, you know why? That's Lebanese dialect. Sorry, Arabic dork. Yeah, hafla in Arabic means party, but if you're a Lebanese dialect speaker, you make all the tarmabuta, getting a little linguistic, becomes e. So Lebanese is like if you hear it. So that's why sometimes you see it hafli, but if you're speaking modern standard Arabic, it's hafla.
I learned something today.
Yeah, me too.
You know, because one of my students asked, which is the plural, hafla or hafli? And I'm like, I'm pretty sure they're both singular, but I have no idea why. So now we all learned something. Don't we feel better?
I want to look up what plural or hafla is. I don't know.
I think we're getting away from the
Okay, getting back to the question. Go Kajira, cohesiveness. Stream of consciousness, get back into the stream.
How did this start?
Okay, so back in New York City, yes, it all went back to there. It was actually 2005. And I was in New York for filming the Gothic Belly Dance DVD. Neon said, I have this idea, and you must come and I will film you, and it'll be good. Because she's Russian. Yes. She's fantastic. And she wears bright red shoes and gloves.
She was very
Look,
neon.
Asharah has a big red photo.
We'll make you get that do again with the mic in a moment. And so I was teaching a workshop out there at the same time, and one of the girls who was helping to put it on was like, well, what do I call this? It's like a gothic hafla, gothla. Like, yes, Gothla, it sounds kind of goofy, but it works. And from there, it kind of spread. And it made perfect sense to make it the name for the big festival. And now they're all over the world. And no, they're not necessarily connected. So we're not, working with systems. We didn't, was that corporation? We're not a corporation. Some of us are corporate goths.
No franchise.
I'm a corporate goth at work. No, yes, but in a fashionista sort of way. Because I'm a jewelry designer, yay! Can you tell? And so that's how we got into the term. And then back in 2007, because 2008, 2009, 2000, this is the third. 2007, Sashi and I were talking about, it might be really good to, bring this together and make a festival. Since we have Tribal Fest, which spawned off for that, and which spawned many other ideas, but Kajira is the original. And so we thought, hey, let's make it happen. So Sashi and I got together, and we spun that, and then Asharah showed up and forgot her suitcase, and we loved her so much, we asked her to come. Yeah, okay, I'll let them tell their story. But that's pretty much, it was an idea, and then it just sort of took over our lives.
Tempest cast a spell on me.
So I think what happened, I'm looking around the room for Sashi. Where are you? Sashi. Sashi basically said, you're coming to Gothla and you're performing. And I said, okay. So I came out to the first Gothla and decided I would be totally obnoxious and volunteer for anything that needed to be done. And I did. And I stage managed and I did all sorts of other stuff. And then, yes, I almost left my suitcase at the venue because I have issues with my stuff. And then you were like, oh, let's bring this girl on board, even though I had demonstrated that I'm slightly irresponsible. I'm always in my brain. That's the problem, and I tend to forget my earthly belongings. But I think that's how it happened for me. And now I'm involved, like organizing the performers and teaching, and it's awesome.
I just want to say, like, after the first Gothla, during it just felt like home. It was home, and I was so completely comfortable and natural. Yeah.
Sorry. Oh, no, don't be. I agree with you. BFD. Anyway, pardon my Southern California French. So, I just said, whoa, this is such a great new idea. And I really had to be there. So I just flew from Maui and came over. I used to think I was the only goth on Maui until recently. Now I see others. And anyway, I was so blown away. And what Anaar said is right on for me. I felt like it was home. And because I produced one of the biggest things, Tempest mentioned, Tribal Fest, it's so much work. I never really have fun there. And so I wanted to go somewhere where I would have freaking fun. And it was so fun that I just thought, well, I'm going to come back, as often as I can. And this year I was lucky enough to be invited on the teaching staff. So I'm really pleased and grateful. But yeah, it all started just as, wow, what a great new idea. And I love to support new ideas. Anybody else?
It just made me remember something. Cool. Is that some of you know I do the website for Tribal Fest because she asked me to. And somewhere in the discussions, I think I took it over in 2003. Oh God, it's 2010, it's been a long time. But somewhere around 2004, the end of 2004, I was talking to Kajira about these people kept asking me to teach workshops about Gothic belly dance, and I was like, I don't know, I've been dancing at this point for 4 or 5 years. I don't know if this